So we're going to learn about a new kind of loop in this video, and it has to do with lists, right? So if I want to have like a list like this, so my list, and let's pop in some numbers here, right? And so I'm going to say let's have the first number be 6, 5, 4. If I want to run through and I want to add up all the numbers in my list, one way that I can do it is call a for loop. So for all the x in my list, right, I want to add them up, right? So add we'll call sum. So what I want to do is I want to start my my count at 0, right? And I'm going to take my sum and I'm going to set it equal to, well, whatever it was before plus that x value. Now, so this x that I'm defining here, this x means, like, the Python doesn't know what these three things are. It's just like, oh, well, here, maybe I need to say this over in a Python file too. So new.py, right? So Python doesn't say, like, know what this thing is, right? So I could say, I could call x, all these things x's, right? I could just as easy say, for all the thing, for each thing in my list, so I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to add it to my sum. But no matter how I do it, right, as long as these two things match. Now this is called a local variable. It's only defined inside this loop, right? And the cool thing about for loops is they automatically end, right? So I don't need to do any breaks or anything like that. So after this, I can just do print sum, right? And see what goes on. Okay? So when I add this up, 6 plus 5 plus 4 is 15. Yeah, cool. I can also do other things with for loops. Like I could do for x in range, let's say 0 to 5, right? Print, we could do something like this, print a, right? So how many times am I going to be printing a here, right? So let's just run it and see. Let's put a colon here first. So when I run this thing, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's. At first, this kind of makes sense because you're like, okay, well, I'm going to 5. But what you need to consider, right, is when I say 0 to 5, the way that this gets counted, this 5 isn't actually in the count, right? Because we start from 0, so it's doing it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5 right there is saying, okay, stop at 5, that's good enough. And so that's why I'm getting 4 A's, because it's happening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could also do something like this. I could print off x each time, and we can kind of see that thing work, right? So now each time through this, it prints off, if x is 0, it starts at 0, right? It starts at 0, and so it prints 0, and then it goes to 5, and it prints, and prints, and prints, and prints. So I can do all sorts of things in here, like I could do x equals x times 2. So think about this one before I run it, right? What's going on? Well, I'm going to, for all the numbers between basically 0 and 4, I'm going to take that number multiplied by 2 and then print it off. So my list should be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's see if that logic holds true. Oh, love it when a plan comes together, right? So you can do these things like for x and y, like for something in something. We can do this as a range of numbers, or we can do it as a list. It's a really useful loop.